I'm a heavy introvert and I almost never leave my house. I practically just stay behind my TV unless it's to get something to eat, clean, or go to work. Or, of course, take a shower and go to the bathroom. But I never seem to leave my house and I never really had a group of friends. I was really into old school video games a lot more than the new school. The online multiplayer platforms really never interested me, and I was always into just playing alone, completely by myself and isolated. But my cousin would often try to sell the fact that the online platform was so amazing and the free world video games were so beautiful and awesome and exploring and adventurous and blah blah blah. I could really just sit here and play reruns of Kingdom Hearts, GTA San Andreas, and Crash Twinsanity and just have a wonderful life playing those over and over and over again. I don't like change. It never really got to me. But one day, my cousin pushed me really hard to get an Xbox 360. I didn't want to get it. I thought it was going to be a waste of money, and I was kind of disappointed in the games that came out with it. Me being a PlayStation fan, explaining most of it. But I did it for him because me and him never really got to see each other that much, and it would be nice to communicate with him through the video game. He wanted me to get a specific game, but I couldn't get it off the game store, though. He said he was going to mail it to me, and we would start playing it together. It hasn't came in the mail, and my mail's been stalled for a while ever since the pandemic, so I never really received it. And I told him that news, and he was heartbroken, but he dealt with it. And we played the same reruns of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and GTA Online and Mortal Kombat together repeatedly on and on and on. But then one day he just went offline. I tried messaging him, maybe asking him if he wanted to play some zombies on grief mode like we usually do and constantly did, and he never says no to that. And it was left on red. He didn't answer. I quickly got worried and tried dialing him on my phone and also tried contacting him through my brother's Facebook, but still nothing. My family was completely confused, and whatever news would happen, we wouldn't get up front because we don't live close to them. So at first, I thought he was ignoring me. I would soon become depressed because he was practically the only friend I had, and it wouldn't take me long to hear the news of what actually happened. He took his life. Completely devastated. I didn't go on the Xbox for months and months and months. I practically didn't even play my video games. I only really left my room to go to work, and at that point, I was just asleep. I lost the only friend that was close to me, and I don't even know if I could ever play the game that we wanted to play together, Saints Row. It was a GTA spin-off, but with an open-world multiplayer. Like I said earlier, I tried just buying it off the market, but he said he had a special edition he wanted me to get. I never even got it. Days and weeks and months pass, and then finally I see something slip through my mail crack in the door. It looked like a game box. I was confused because I didn't buy anything off of Amazon or anything. I quickly opened up the package in curiosity, and at this point I was feeling kind of better, so I would kind of every now and then maybe try to get on my Xbox, but it just never worked. It was the game, Saints Row, and a note. Jeremy, you always told me you couldn't afford new games, and even though you said you wanted to get a regular copy, I wanted to send you this Master's Edition of Saints Row. Please play it. Even if I'm not around in the future, I still feel like you should try the game out. I kind of modded it up to be really fun, and I think you'll like some of the changes. It's going to be better than the original game. It'll be a ideal first experience. Your friend and loving cousin, John. I looked up to his hacking mods and always doing something to other games to make them more fun and beyond the boundaries. He made Fallout look even bigger as a big game as it is, and he definitely made other games amazing. As much as I didn't like the future games, I love that what you can do to them technology-wise. I took a minute to myself to kind of grieve the passing of my friend slash cousin, and then I went into the living room to play the game. I quickly filled up the table with some snacks, drinks, and got ready for some entertainment. The game did start as the usual, blasting rap music with a look over still water and stuff like that as people walking past the sidewalk. But there was more modes on this. Holy shit. John, what did you do to this game? When I reviewed the initial Saints Row, it only had career or story mode or whatever it is, and online multiplayer, and like options and settings. There was another mode in here. Resurrect. Resurrect isn't there already like a zombie game in the second one called Uprising or something? What is this, like a scrap version of that but put into the first one? Granted, we got this game when the third one came out. We were more knowledgeable of Saints Row 2 than Saints Row 1, but we fell in love with Saints Row 1's limited fun and rapid chaos and the closest feeling to a GTA you could get. My eyes lit up the first time playing the first installment of this series, and it has even more than what I was expecting. I was completely happy, actually, and I'm never really excited about something like this. I honestly rather just be on San Andreas, but this struck me odd. San Andreas didn't have multiple modes. This is awesome. And it's not even online. But you can invite your friends to a private lobby. I kind of like that. I warmly picked Resurrect mode and quickly got ready and prepared myself for what I was about to experience. I didn't know what I was up for. The game started up, but not how it should have started up. I quickly looked up the first cutscene to see if it was exact. Maybe it was a director's cut. And it was nothing like what the original intro was. Instead of you entering a town, my character just woke up in his house. So he's already living there. He's not someone new trying to initiate himself into a gang like the original plot. I quickly walked outside my house because it went straight to gameplay. There was no cutscenes or nothing. A destination was already made, and it was all the way across town. But there was no cars. I had to walk. The sidewalks were empty, the buildings were unoccupied, there was no traffic at all, and everything was quiet. While the graphics usually looked comic bookish and kind of silly, the graphics looked a little more real. Something was extremely off about this mod. The first mission said go to your family's house. You don't live with your family or don't have any family at all in the first game. I did as it said, and it took me literally 30 minutes just to get to the destination. The next goal said kill Jeremy. That's my name. It then led to a bedroom within my house, but I wasn't there. It then said to exit the bedroom and go to a fast food restaurant. That's funny, because I worked a fast food job. The character I was playing as started to look familiar to me. He was short, a little chubby, blonde hair, glasses. It looked like John. It looked like my cousin. He made it look like my cousin was coming to kill me. I showed up at the fast food restaurant and I was scared what happens next. I quickly went to the break room where it told me to go to, and I pulled out a crowbar, hoping to just get the job done so I can get the continued story. Right before I took my first strike into my body, though, my console completely shut off and my TV got unhooked by itself. I don't know how. Maybe something fell on it? I was pretty bummed out because I didn't save. I didn't want to restart, and I didn't want to go through all the process, so I kind of just sat in my room for a while in the dark. I hanged on my phone for a bit and saw what was happening on YouTube, and then I felt a presence in my front yard. A knock. Coming from my front door. I was afraid to open it, but something told me to go and see through the keyhole who it was. I quickly walked up and then I slouched down under the keyhole so they didn't see my eye. And then I tried to sneak my eye up against the keyhole. And what I saw shocked me. It looked like a dead version of my cousin. John? He had a decaying face and bugs were crawling out of his eyes. He had blood around the lines of his cheeks and what looked like parts of a shotgun blast around his eye socket. He had this weird yellow liquid just oozing out of his cheek. A large infested hole. He smiled and bugs started falling out even more. He waved me back in the house and told me to sit on the couch and continue playing the game. He turned on the console and we restarted. He forced me to do the first mission, and when we got to my character, he smiled and nodded. I knew what he wanted me to do. I knew if I didn't do it, there was going to be even worse consequences. I struck my character with a crowbar multiple times as I actually felt the real-life pain. I wailed on the floor as I started spasming like someone struck a crowbar against my spine. Crying on the floor for what seemed like hours but was only minutes, my dead cousin then stood up and left the house. There was blood marks pouring out from my back, and I started to slowly bleed out in my living room. I don't think my cousin committed suicide. I think the video game killed him. Literally killed him. I don't know what mod he put in to have this happen, but it was definitely cursed. If you're hearing this, I'm sadly dead. And I hope they at least find this recording to know that it wasn't on purpose. But please, for whatever you do, don't buy this game and don't get this mod.